Let's cut through the noise. Brother, too many men still think a miss you text means love. It doesn't. It means she remembered you for a moment, not that she values your soul. Words are easy. Anyone can say them. But actions, those are sacred. They tell the truth you've been too distracted to see. Because when a woman truly loves a man, her behavior changes in ways you can't fake. She stops performing, and she starts investing. And I'm not talking about kind of likes you, or is just used to having you around. I'm talking about the 5 silent signals she only gives to the man who holds her heart. Not the guy she tolerates, not the one she strings along, but the man she'd stand beside even in silence. Once you understand these signs, you'll never chase empty words again. You'll stop mistaking attention for affection, and you'll finally know if what she's giving is real. Let's get into it. 1. She nurtures you without being asked. Real love doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly, and the first way you'll notice it is how she starts caring for you without needing a single word from you. She brings you coffee before you even yawn. She checks in about your meeting without you mentioning it. She notices your stress before you can even fake a smile. That's not her playing a role. That's instinct. And that instinct only gets activated when something in her heart has chosen you fully. She's not doing it because you asked. She's not trying to win points. She's not acting out of obligation or desperation. She simply wants to see you rise. Your strength becomes her mission. Now here's what it's not. It's not about submission. It's not about outdated gender roles. She's not your servant. She's your quiet support system. When a woman loves you deeply, your well-being becomes part of her emotional ecosystem. She'll cook for you not because you expect it, but because she knows you haven't eaten all day and wants to make sure you're strong enough to keep going. She'll bring order to your chaos, not because you're incapable, but because she wants your mind to be clear enough to conquer the world. It's subtle, but it's real. And here's the part most men miss. She won't do this for everyone. A woman doesn't just pause her schedule or disrupt her rhythm for a man she's unsure about. She won't fold your laundry if she's still texting other guys. She won't make soup for you when you're sick if she sees you as replaceable. She won't offer comfort if she doesn't feel emotionally safe with you. That kind of nurturing, it only comes out when her walls drop, when she's all in, when she's chosen you, not just with her words, but with her time, her presence, and her quiet actions. So if you're ever uncertain, if you're questioning whether a woman is truly invested in you, don't get distracted by what she posts online. Don't get lost in the sweet words she throws around when she wants attention. Pay attention to what she does when no one's looking. The care, the details, the small, consistent efforts. Those are your answers. Because love doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be consistent. And if she's nurturing you from a place of love, not expectation, brother, that's not just affection, that's a silent vow. 2. She defends you when you're not around. Real love doesn't just speak kindly when you're near. It protects you when you're not around. One of the strongest signs a woman truly loves you isn't found in how she acts in your presence, but in what she allows when you're absent, what she says, what she tolerates, what she shuts down, silently or fiercely. Does she light up when your name is mentioned in a room full of people? Does she stop her friends from teasing you behind your back? Does she defend you, even when the gossip seems harmless? Because here's the hard truth. Most women won't defend a man they don't feel deeply for. They'll stay quiet. They'll smile awkwardly when others make fun of your flaws. They'll agree when someone says, "He's too serious," or "He's too intense." But a woman who loves you, she becomes your shield, even when you're not there to see it. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't laugh just to keep the peace. She'll tell her best friend, "Don't talk about him like that." She'll stop a conversation cold, just to make it clear, you're not a punchline. That takes courage, because defending someone who's not in the room requires loyalty without validation. No applause, no thanks, no spotlight, just love in its purest form. Silent, firm, and unwavering, and that's rare. You see, when a woman includes your name in the list of things she's willing to protect, you're no longer just a boyfriend. You become part of her identity. Your name, your story, your honor. It starts to matter to her as much as it matters to you. This kind of loyalty can't be forced. It's not the result of demands or expectations. It comes from respect, trust, and deep emotional investment. So ask yourself, what does she say about you when you're not there? Does she speak with pride, with warmth, with conviction, or does she stay silent, maybe even complicit, when others tear you down? Because if she's not defending your name in your absence, she's not standing beside you in spirit. And if she won't stand up for you when no one's watching, she doesn't deserve to stand beside you when the spotlight hits. True love doesn't just show up, it speaks up. And when she's willing to protect your name like her own, brother, that's not just affection, that's loyalty. 3. She becomes emotionally exclusive even before it's official. You don't need a title to know where her heart stands. Because when a woman loves you deeply, exclusivity doesn't start with a conversation. It starts with a quiet decision she makes long before the label. She begins to disconnect from distractions. She stops replying to other guys, not because you told her to, but because she simply isn't interested anymore. She creates distance from male friends who once hovered with mixed intentions. She turns down invites that could blur lines or stir up discomfort, not out of guilt, but out of respect for what the two of you are building. This is how emotional loyalty begins, not with rules, not with pressure, but with clarity, because to her, you already feel like home. And when that happens, she starts guarding your bond, even if no one else knows it exists yet. She won't tell the world she's committed. She'll show it, not through declarations, but through self-restraint. No thirst traps, no late nights with old flames, no lingering in open-ended flirtation just in case. She steps back from the stage of performance and into the mindset of protection. And if you pay attention, you'll notice the shift. She gets Kita online. She stops needing eyes on her. She's not posting to be seen. She's protecting what's unseen. Because love doesn't scream for attention. It shields what's sacred. And when she starts doing that before the status, before the commitment, she's already decided, in her heart, you're her man. That's the difference. She's not waiting for you to set boundaries. She's already aligning with you out of her own internal compass. That kind of woman doesn't keep one foot out the door. She closes it quietly, confidently, without a ceremony. And you won't have to wonder. You won't have to ask her to choose. She already has. But here's the catch. Not every woman will do this. And not every man will recognize it when it's happening. So don't get caught chasing words. Don't be blinded by the title. Look at her actions. What is she pulling away from? What kind of access is she shutting down without being told? That's where you'll find the truth. Because the moment she starts treating your bond like something worth guarding, when she's exclusive to you, emotionally, before the world even knows, you're no longer just another option. You've become her focus, her gravity, the one she's already chosen, even if no one said the words out loud. 4. She adapts to your world without losing herself. One of the clearest signs that a woman truly loves you isn't how much she sacrifices, but how gracefully she integrates. She doesn't try to mold you into someone else. She doesn't demand you slow down, soften your drive, or redirect your path to make space for her. Instead, she studies your rhythm, not to control it, but to find her place in it. She notices your late-night workouts, your long work days, your deep focus, and rather than fight for your attention every second, she begins to understand how to move with you, not against you. That's not weakness. That's alignment. A woman who loves you doesn't want to compete with your mission. She wants to complement it, not by becoming invisible, but by being present in a way that respects who you are. She doesn't whine about your business goals. She doesn't guilt you for not texting back in 2 hours. She gives you space without disappearing. She finds subtle ways to say, "I'm with you." Even when you're in the middle of chaos, she starts asking about your purpose, your mentors, the things that drive you, not out of flattery, not out of manipulation, but because she genuinely wants to know the man she's chosen. She doesn't just want your time. She wants your mind, your world, and she's willing to enter it on your terms, not rewrite it on hers. But here's the beauty. She doesn't abandon who she is in the process. She still pursues her goals. She maintains her identity. She doesn't dissolve into your story. She builds her own chapter inside it. You won't see her throwing away her dreams just to orbit yours. You'll see her adding to the vision without stealing the spotlight. That's rare. That's sacred. Because love isn't about giving up who you are. It's about becoming stronger together without either of you vanishing. You'll feel her presence, not as pressure, but as support. She'll become the calm in your storm. The one who understands when no one else does. The woman who doesn't slow you down. She moves in sync with you. Not a weight, not a distraction, but a rhythm that makes your movement clearer, smoother, more powerful. She becomes the melody to your beat. Not by force, not by expectation, but by choice. She's not looking for a life to escape into. She's looking for a life to build beside someone she respects. So pay attention, brother. If she's learning your world, supporting without smothering, adapting without erasing herself, that's not dependency. That's devotion. And if she can walk with you through your purpose without pulling you away from it, while still honoring her own, you're not just loved. You're deeply understood. And that kind of love, that's alignment. 5. She sees your darkness and stays anyway. If you want to know whether a woman truly loves you, watch what she does when you're no longer at your best. Not when you're charming, not when you're confident, not when life's going your way, but when you're on the floor. When your world's crumbling and you don't have the strength to pretend, when your voice breaks, your energy's gone, and your eyes don't shine. They just survive. Most women fall for the highlight reel, the version of you that smiles, conquers, leads. But love, real love, begins when the lights go out. She doesn't flinch when the cracks show. She doesn't rush to fix you, nor does she run from the silence you carry. Instead, she chooses to sit with you in it, not with answers, but with presence. She doesn't treat your pain like a problem. She treats it like a passage, a moment you must walk through, and she simply walks beside you. You confess your doute, your past, the parts of yourself you're not proud of, and instead of judging you, she listens, really listens. She doesn't weaponize your past mistakes. She doesn't store your flaws like ammunition. She treats your vulnerability with reverence, like you handed her a sword and trusted her not to stab. And she doesn't pity you. That's the wild part. She respects you more, because now she sees what most can't. You were never pretending to be perfect. You were just carrying it all silently. And in that moment, something shifts. You realize she isn't just with you for the shine. She's with you for the struggle too. She sees the man beneath the armor, the one who bleeds, the one who breaks, and she doesn't run. She reaches. She might challenge you. She might push you to get back up. But she never makes you feel like you're less of a man just because you fell. She sees your brokenness as part of your strength, not a stain on your worth, but a layer of your depth. That kind of loyalty can't be taught, can't be faked. It's earned in the quiet, when no one else is watching. Because real love isn't how someone treats your victories, it's how they respond to your defeats. If she's there when you have nothing to offer, nothing to prove, and still chooses you, not out of obligation, not out of pity, but because her heart resonates with yours. Don't take that lightly. This kind of love is rare, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, like a lighthouse that stays lit, even when the storms come. So when you find a woman who can sit beside your darkness and still believe in your light, don't ever mistake that for weakness. Because that kind of love, that's what makes men whole. If any part of this message struck a chord, if you found yourself thinking about a woman in your past or present and realized she might genuinely care, then don't just sit there and let that thought fade. Take a moment and ask yourself, was it real? Was it love? Or just attention wrapped in affection? See, most men never ask that question. They accept crumbs and call it love. They mistake validation for devotion. But if you've ever had a woman who did the small things, the quiet things, the things no one noticed but you, then you know the difference. And that's what we do here. We don't deal in fantasies. We deal in clarity. So, if you're ready to stop chasing illusions and start seeing the truth in relationships, subscribe to the Stoic Spirit. Because this isn't about being bitter. It's about being better. It's about learning to move like a man who knows what he brings to the table and who's no longer afraid to eat alone, if that's what it takes. Now, I want to hear from you. If you've ever been loved with that quiet, steady loyalty, or if you're still waiting for that kind of woman to show up in your life, drop the word anchor in the comments. Because real love doesn't drift. It doesn't flinch when things get hard. It stays grounded, firm, certain. Let's see how many of you out there still believe in something real. I'll be reading every single one.